I don't think it's supposed to be like that.
I am fairly certain it's not supposed to be like that.
I don't see how you would ever take that axle out with the brake light wrapped around it.
How's it going, guys? Chase Farrow here, and I am standing in my garage because I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the car and what exactly happened a couple of Saturdays ago on the way to Fuel Fest. So if you didn't see the video, I had a pretty significant problem occur while I was on my way to Fuel Fest. I was going down 121, just had the cruise control set. I was doing about 70, 75, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my service active handling warning came on, service ABS, my gauge pillar died. I lost my headlights, tail lights, turn signals, everything, and I started hearing a repetitive kind of a knocking sound, but not like a real hard knocking, but just, I mean, something concerning. It sounded like something was making some contact. Light contact with something that it shouldn't have been. So I stopped at a couple of places. Unfortunately, neither of them were able to get my car onto a lift. But one of the places was a Firestone in the Colony, and the guy there kind of got up under it and looked, and he didn't see anything amiss, and neither did I when I looked under there. So he kind of came to the same conclusion that I did, and that was a speed sensor has probably come unseated, and maybe the wiring got damaged in the process. It caused a fuse to go or something like that. And so the sound I'm hearing is the sensor itself just kind of making contact with something that it's not supposed to be making contact with. So I elected to limp it home or not home, but rather to a Firestone in Allen, because we hadn't made it very far down the road. And if you've ever owned a car this low, you know that trying to call a flatbed or something like that is an absolute last resort. I mean, the car has to be completely incapacitated for me to do that. So I dropped it off at this Firestone, largely because it was Saturday and they were one of the only people open, and two, they have an in-ground lift that they use for their alignment rack, and so they're one of the only places in the area that can actually get my car off the ground. So fast forward to Monday, and I get a call at like 7:30 in the morning from the GM saying, hey, we're not really 100% sure why this is here, but we looked at it and everything looks fine. I said, okay, that's fine. So you guys did put it on the lift, you need to look at it. He was like, yeah, a couple of my guys did, and they said they didn't see anything. Just a wire loom that looked like it was hanging down a little bit, but everything seemed fine. Okay, no big deal. In which case, I told him I'll come get the car and I'll take it then either over to True Street in McKinney, or I'll just bring it back to my place, because both of those are very close to this particular Firestone. So I decided to limp it home. The sound had actually gone away somewhat, but then all of a sudden the sound came back and it was louder and it was on both sides. Then very quickly after, it was coupled with vibrations. And then about half a mile from my house, maybe half a mile or so from my house, then it started more sounds, and it started feeling like the tail end of the whole rear of the car was just disintegrating. So that was a few weeks ago. I've been working a lot, I've been in and out of town. Now I finally have a day to address this. So what I'm gonna do is me and Tyler are going to load it up on the trailer, because we finally got his trailer all sorted out and registered. We're gonna load it up on the trailer, we're gonna take it down to my buddy Esteban, and he's gonna go ahead and take care of it. Unfortunately, after I got it home a couple of weeks ago and I got up under it and I looked, I discovered that things were not fine at all. In fact, I'm a little bit frustrated with this Firestone because, well, I don't think they actually looked at it, which would have been okay if they just told me they hadn't looked at it. They had said, actually, we didn't have an opportunity, or we don't really do that kind of thing, so we didn't actually look at it, so we're not sure. But instead they said, oh yeah, we looked at it and everything looks fine, just looked like a wire loom was kind of hanging a little low. It didn't look fine even remotely. I got up under the car, I jacked it up a bit from the rear, even though I'm kind of on an incline, you shouldn't do that. I jacked it up from the rear, and as you can see here, that was my axle. And as you can see, the boot is completely gone. The axle is not connected anymore, and you can also see the wire loom is shredded. I mean, that entire wiring harness is just destroyed. Now, I will 100% acknowledge that a certain amount of that probably happened on my way from Firestone to my house. But that wire harness was completely shredded before I took it there. There's axle grease everywhere. The boot is completely gone. I mean, there's no way that that looked normal before I picked it up. So I am a little bit frustrated. I wish they would have just said, well, we didn't actually look at it, but they didn't. And so now my fear is that we're gonna get it down to Esteban. He's gonna crack it open, he's gonna take a look at everything, and he's gonna say, oh, by the way, it took your diff with it. That's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna fast forward to loading it on the trailer, and yeah, let's get this on the road.
All right, so here's the fun part, trying to load the car up. We're gonna see if we can get the truck backed up in a way in which we can use the, wow, I'll be damned. He might have been right. Wait, holy crap. Son of a bitch. He actually managed to do it.
Yeah, but not without blocking the whole street.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to come forward a bit though. All right, well, let's see what we can do. Well, it got in there perfect, and now the trash or recycle truck is coming. So, never mind. All right, so he went that way. All right, well then pull it back. Let's see if we can get it on there pretty quickly. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be able to film this part of it because I just don't have time. I don't think I've ever had a harder time getting a vehicle on a trailer before.
A winch really would have helped.
A winch would have helped immensely. Originally, one of my next major investments was gonna be, I was gonna buy a bike, but I'm not gonna lie, I might get one of those trailers, the flat trailers that has the hydraulic on it, where the deck of the trailer lowers almost all the way down.
But they make those?
Yeah.
That would be...
Yeah, I think that's gonna be...
help.
It's probably gonna be my next big investment, so. But yeah, it's on there. Questionably, I mean, it's questionably on there. I mean,
because a couple of my straps aren't where they're supposed to be.
Right. We're like super slowly limping to the O'Reilly's that's right down the street from the house. It is strapped down.
1-inch straps on the back, and I don't trust those because they're designed for ATVs, not Corvettes.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. So it's completely strapped down. It's nice and secure. It was a nerve-wracking like 3-minute drive over here, but now it's safe. Yeah, that. All right. We're getting ready to unload the car. We just got to Esteban's a few minutes ago. So now, let's get this stupid thing fixed. Let's do it. right, so we got the stupid thing off the trailer. That was absolutely freaking terrifying. But we got it off. It's chilling there. Poor brakes. The only problem is the battery is completely flat. We're gonna see if we can get it onto the 4-post. It's either it's gonna work or it's gonna go terribly. Either way.
We failed at making an insurance claim.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
What else is deeply concerning, actually, by the way, that I noticed, is that is concerning. So, joy. Another thing, add it to the list.
All right.
Go. Yeah.
Power's on.
Dash.
Go.
I'm giving it gas. Well, usually the benefits of a manual transmission is that you can just push start your car, but decided it didn't want to work today. Be like that sometimes.
Also, that fluid is deeply concerning.
Yeah.
But I can't tell based on the trailer. It looks like it's red, but the trailer's red, so that's the problem. It doesn't smell like oil. I can't freaking tell though. I just cannot tell what it is. I bet it's coolant, which, yeah.
Perfect. Good for you. You got headers. I can see the starter. It's probably flooded. Hold your foot all the way to the floor and then crank on it. Alright, let off. Now try it.
Let's try it.
You broke it more than you thought.
Apparently.
Yeah, what'd you break this time?
No.
1 hour later.
Pissing whatever fluids like.
Yeah, it is. It left a big puddle there. We were checking fuses. This is why your tail lights don't work.
Yeah. Oh, hey. At least it pulled the whole pigtail off.
Also, you're pretty close to not having brakes either.
Why?
Bob took out a brake line.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, look at that, too.
What? I don't see it. Oh, yeah. That would be why your ABS and traction control came on.
What I'm worried about is this massive harness that's wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
man.
probably all your brake lights, anything from the rear. Your brake lights, your
Tag lights.
tag lights,
Yeah.
ABS. Oh no, it didn't. It fucked up your brake line. I just stuck my hand in there. It's twirled around the axle.
Oh, my brake line is? Oh,
Yeah, the one on
nice.
this side. Yeah, this one kind of just goes around it.
All
Looks
things
right
considered.
here. It's hard to tell unless you stick your hand in there, but it's literally wrapped around the axle. I don't think it's supposed to be like that.
I am fairly certain it's not supposed to be like that.
I don't see how you would ever take that axle out with the brake light wrapped around it.
That's awesome. So far, the carnage includes my entire rear harness, brake line wrapped around a CV axle. Thankfully, it doesn't look like the diff is messed up, so that's pretty amazing. What's wrong?
Yeah. So you need a rack.
A steer?
It's your rack.
It's my steering rack?
Yep. It's puking out the boot. The boot popped off, so now it's puking out the watch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Barely, my jacks.
Oh, that's
barely
amazing.
Clear. So they do clear though.
That is amazing.
Does it clear the exhaust though is the question.
Probably not.
Probably
What
not.
I have to do is put
I
a
will
screw
say-
jack and just I mean, I have to lift it up that far. And then
I will say though, I mean, outside of, you can see scrapes All things considered though, for as low as it is, the underside of this car actually is surprisingly clean.
I expect your round pipes to be more square shaped.
Flat bottom.
Square, yeah, flat bottom.
So I think I'm probably gonna end off there. The news is better than I expected it to be, sort of. I mean, it's still frustrating. I got more things wrong than I expected, but one less thing that was catastrophically bad. So I wanna go home. I'm tired, my head hurts. And thankfully, the car's in good hands with Esteban. He's a good dude. He's here in Lake Worth. So his name is Esteban Olmos, and he'll get your shit sorted out. So yeah, that's it. Tyler, thanks for your help.
No problem.
And
What I do.
Huge shout out to Esteban. So we'll get this sorted later.
Peace.
So actually, before I end this video off, I just got home a few minutes ago. I'm absolutely exhausted, but I do have an update. So Esteban came across a forum post, and so it says, hey guys, I have a 2000 coupe that has some issues with the brake line wrapping around the rear axle. The first time I did it, I was doing approximately 130, and all of a sudden I hear a click, click, click. Pull into the paddock and find the rear brake line had wrapped around the rear axle. So we get the car home and fab up a new line because you can't buy them pre-bent. We had it pretty much the same as the stock line. Next time out, around 130 mile an hour, click, click, click. Pull in, it's happened again. Same thing, fab up a new one. This time added a clamp where the clip was on the side of the frame. And again, about 130 mile an hour, same clicking. This time it smoked 2, ripped the CV boot, and grease on the exhaust smoked up. So that's pretty much to a T what happened with mine. Except for mine, it decided to score some bonus points and took that entire wiring harness back there with it. In the process of doing so, it actually blew 6 fuses. And so that's why I lost my gauge cluster. That's why I lost my gauge pod, the power to that gauge pod. So after we replaced those fuses, pretty much everything came back online, minus I think it was, oh, my brake lights, all that stuff is just gone. And I think I'm not 100% certain, but I'm willing to bet that my speedometer is probably still not reading. So that's, I guess, the bright side is that my diff didn't go. I'm very, very thrilled about that. Unfortunately, I think this is just some weird coincidence where my steering rack went. But Esteban's gonna get that buttoned up. He's gonna go ahead, he's gonna take care of the axle, he's gonna get the new axle, he's gonna get that new wiring harness for the back. That one's might be a little bit tricky. The brake line in the back is also probably gonna be a little bit tricky, but I have a massive amount of faith in Esteban, both in his abilities as a mechanic, but also as just being a stand-up guy. So if you ever if you're in the DFW area, especially if you're around Fort Worth and you need a guy that has an immense amount of talent and skill in mechanic work, both not just fixing your stuff, but also doing, performance stuff, please, you gotta reach out to him. He's a great dude, he's very stand-up. He's not gonna, as he said, he doesn't believe in trying to take people's heads off with price gouging and stuff like that. So huge thank you to him for getting this sorted out. Big thank you to Tyler as well. Huge thank you to him for grabbing up the trailer, coming down here, helping me load this thing, and help me get it down there. So yeah, that's where we're at. So at the moment, the Z06 is out of the picture probably for the next week or two. What we're gonna try and do, we do have some content with the Camaro. We're gonna be installing a new front lip on it, doing a little bit there. I am also going to do a video because my front bumper for the Z06 is right here. Had a little bit of a mishap with the lip actually that Saturday when I took it to Firestone. And so I'm going to be remounting that, and I'm going to be doing it the proper way. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to see more, see how this all turns out, do the subscribe thing. If you want to throw a like on the video, that'd be cool too, but otherwise, or don't, I don't care. But yeah, that's it. So I'll see you guys next time.